Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager Neil Baker. How are you, Neil?
Good, John. Good evening.
Good evening to you too. How now later in the week? Thursday, are you feeling looking back at the Cambridge City match?
Yeah, don't really want to harp on about it. Everyone knows our feelings. Very disappointed, more so with the second half performance again. Very similar to Redditch away. So bitterly disappointed with the result and performance. And
Is it your toughest time in management?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's, we've lost 3 games on a bounce. We'd won one prior to that. So when myself and John first joined Godalming, we inherited a side that was pretty much everyone wanted to leave with the manager. And we had to, pretty much throughout that season just get a side out to try and fulfil the fixtures. And that was tough. But we then put a side together, and the rest is history as such. So.
How does it compare to when you commenced your role in the Slough?
Listen, all it is a bit disappointing, but two bad performances. Maybe I'd say in the 3 games, 3 halves are poor. First half at Chippenham wasn't bad. First half at Redditch wasn't bad. First half against Cambridge wasn't bad. So we've had 3 poor halves of football in the last 3 weeks. That's a disappointment. The problem is when you're playing Saturday, you don't get the chance to rectify it on the Tuesday. So, we're really disappointed with those performances. But we are in a tough league. It is a tough league, and we are. You're getting used to it, and you know that every game's going to be difficult, and we just haven't played very well.
So you talk about not having games coming quick and fast.
Yep.
What have you done during this 7 days?
This week we've trained a couple of times. We've trained up Hayes and Yedding. We played a sort of in-house game. We looked at sort of 1 or 2 players as well. That was good workout on Tuesday, and then we've been up at the Polish club tonight and had a really good session tonight. I mean, the surface over there is not good at all. It's really hard. It's really bobbly. But we, as we said, it makes when we go to Holloways Park the pitch look decent. Because obviously the pitches are drying out, and it does get, it's getting harder to play football on. So it does gear them up to Saturday, should we say? But good session.
How was the morale in the camp?
Yeah, really good tonight. Really, really positive. We brought in a new player today, Chris Henry. Who's joining us from Kingstonian. Chris
is that a permanent thing?
Well, it's an agreement between us and Kingstonian at the moment until the end of the season. They might call him back, but highly unlikely. Chris was with St Albans last year when they got promotion, so he knows the league. He's a quick left winger. And obviously with the decision we made with Dobbo, we needed to bring somebody in, and we've moved quite quickly to do that.
Yeah, another week of pressure and another big decision by you and Unders.
Yeah, I mean, I won't have a bad word to say about Dobbo. His attitude is absolutely spot on. Really, really nice lad. Myself and John are really disappointed it hasn't worked out. He started the season on fire for the first sort of 9-10 games, and unfortunately his performances have dipped, and we feel quite dramatically. Since I think he got injured, and then he got himself sent off, and he hasn't replicated any of his early season form, and he sort of looked like he's struggled with confidence, and we tried to get him out for a couple of games, and we've tried to bring him off from the bench and start him, and it hasn't quite worked out for him, and it's unfortunate, but we're starting to look towards next season, and we just felt that we might need to do something there.
Is there any other players that you're looking at bringing in the interim or short term?
No, I mean, as I say, we're slowly, with Fowler and Clergy coming back to fitness. Spoke to Susie again tonight. Maybe another 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. So we might see him. We've got Adam Martin to come back in. Liam Malone trained with us twice this week and trained very, very well. So all of a sudden we're starting to get a few numbers back, and the lads don't become a bad side overnight. So it's a little dip in form, but we've got to go into Saturday's game confident with what we've got, and we'll go and give it a real good game against Truro, who no doubt will be big, strong, physical, and be very direct.
Did any players go out and get any game time with any other teams this week?
No, as I say, because we played on Tuesday. We had this in-house game. everyone was involved in that, and so we've trained again tonight. So no.
You say it's going to be tough against Truro. Obviously, it was a very physical, combative game down there, which we won 2-1.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? They're sitting fourth in the league at the moment. They're decent away from home.
Yeah, I mean, they were. I think we were probably fortunate to get the 3 points up at their place. They were a good side. We probably nicked it. I know their manager felt that we nicked it on the day and didn't deserve the win. We'll be getting our lads up for it because Truro are obviously going for the playoffs. They're a big, strong side. They're experienced, and I remember, when we saw them, they were the land of the giants, and so we've got to adapt against that, and we've got to go and work as hard as we can. Because that's the only way we'll get anything out of Saturday. It won't be about getting the ball down, passing nicely or anything. It's going to mix it up with them and try and beat them at their own game.
Are there going to be any specific or unusual, bold strategies to try and help get out of this run of form?
No, just hard work. That's all you can. That's all you can do. As managers, you send out the players that you feel are right for a particular game, and we're going to do that on Saturday. And at the end of the day, it's one of those games where we're not expected to win, but we need to try and get some form of result. We need to get a reaction. We need to get a much better reaction than we have from the last sort of couple of games at least. So we need to put in a performance and work hard. And you can accept defeat when you've worked hard and you feel like you've given everything. You can't accept defeat when you feel that you've given the game up or sloppiness has crept into it. So,
and if you put that performance in, hopefully the crowd will come to life a little bit and get behind you.
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously there was one or two negative voices on Saturday, and that's fine. That's to be expected. We got beat 4-0 at home at the end of the day against a side who hadn't been on a good run of form, so you can understand it. I was angry myself, so it is what it is. We've done a good job at Slough, and Slough are in a better position than they were when we took over, and we'll continue to do that, because that's myself and John. We're not ones that will sort of rest on our laurels and accept mediocrity. We expect players to work hard for us, for their teammates, and maybe we've lost that a little bit this season, recently, but we'll get that back.
Off the field, there's been a couple of interesting things happening in the last few days. One of which was a positive around kit sponsorship.
Yeah, great from Gary. A bit out of the blue, I have to say. I wasn't expecting that. Fantastic news. I think he's.
What do you think of the design? Was it the one you voted for? The Arsenal way
of the kit. To be fair, it was out of the four, either number one or number two. We're quite happy with. I think. There were one or two other designs that we had seen as well. One that I quite liked, but didn't get shortlisted, unfortunately. So, and it wasn't a pink kit.
Was it for the larger men?
No, it wasn't for the larger men either. But yeah, no, it's hopefully that'll be a nice kit. So we're that's good, and yeah, it's great news for Gary. Sponsoring it. Shows his support for the club, and top news.
With regards to the kit and things, I know, are you looking at the material of it and how it's actually designed?
Yeah, we are. I mean, people, supporters won't necessarily understand this part of it, but the kit is actually quite heavy, so it does not weigh the lads down, but you talk about getting an advantage in football and in all sports, and even like swimming, having the right equipment and kit and whatever else, and so we are looking at trying to get a different material where it's a little bit more lightweight for the players, especially when it's raining. The kit doesn't get quite as heavy, and I know that's it's almost silly to say, but you need to try and look for every advantage. Well, I remember when we were at Godalming in our sort of third year, we made a decision on the kit. We actually picked a skin tight kit.
Wasn't that just for Guy Hollis?
That was just for Guy Hollis, but it was almost like the Cameroon kit where I think they wore at the World Cup or African Nations, and it was fantastic. The lads loved it because people actually came to the games and thought, oh blimey, it's a big side, and so mentally it got to them. But also what happened was teams couldn't actually grab hold of the shirts. So where you see all the jostling and stuff from set pieces, they couldn't actually hold on to the shirts, and we found that a massive advantage for us that year. So, if we can do something like that, then that would be great. But I don't know whether that's possible.
And the second piece of news, I'm not sure whether it's positive, negative, frustrating, is around the Southern League announcement around the Banbury fixture that they've decreed that it needs to be replayed. What are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say an awful lot on this. I think the club made a statement tonight, bitterly disappointed for the reputation of the game. Really, I think it was a decision that the Southern League should have made in our favour, because unfortunately it sets out a terrible precedent. That if teams lose in a game, all we've got to do is go and assault the referee, and the game will get abandoned and replayed. And I'm really surprised by it. I've been in football a long time, and I've never seen anything quite like it. Unfortunately, I went to a Banbury game not so long after the incident, and the lad that was involved was actually at the game. So it's a real frustration for me. I thought the league or the FA would have really looked into this and realised that it sets a poor precedent on and going forward. And I don't know.
Do you think the club will appeal, or do you think they should appeal?
I think we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss the merits for it. I believe we've got 14 days to appeal it, and we'll use those. We use that time wisely to think it through. I'm just, it's not for the fact that we've got to go up there on a Tuesday night. Players have got to get out of work. We're not going to get compensated for it. So. Yeah, I think it's a poor decision. It's not like floodlights have gone out or something out of their control. Unfortunately, at the time it was an incident that the referee should have been better protected, and unfortunately, the blame can only be laid at Banbury's feet for that.
Okay, well, let's talk more, hopefully, about football after Saturday. Let's hope for a 3 points and a Slough victory and a return to form.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We've got to keep our fingers crossed for that. But we know we're going to have to work hard, and we'll be looking to try and turn a corner.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure, like everyone, look forward to a good performance on Saturday.
Cheers, John.
Cheers.